everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing good, I hope you're doing well. So welcome to another Gale Force Music Ramble. Talk about some fun stuff hopefully. Now at the moment, right, I'm staying in my friend's house. Well, no, it's not his house, it's a chalet onto his house. And he's away at the moment and he was kind enough to lend it to me for a couple of days. And he's away, and I have a family member that's recovering from serious illness, like as I was explaining. You know, the last 2 years have been a roller coaster of sicknesses and hospitals, and it's like non-stop. But they're recovering, and they are staying, it's like 15 kilometers away from where I am. And it's a town that I know, a town that I love so well. That's an Irish song. But anyway, yeah. In my memories, I'll always be. Anyway, but like, I got lost a bit today, you know, and I went off the beaten track, and I was using Waze, and Waze got confused, and I got confused, and I ended up like by a lake that I'd never seen before. There was trees, these kind of trees that I can't identify. It was like, what part of the world am I? It was like I was in Spain and the sun came out, and then I drove where Waze was telling me, and I ended up in a barn. Like in a barn, basically like in the middle of nowhere with a load of cows and a dead end. And I was like, what in the name of God? And Waze was telling me to go straight, but there was a fence. Maybe there was a road there before, I don't know. It was gonna, or maybe the farmer put a fence up there, I don't know. To reverse, go back out, come back to my friend's place, and then visit my parent. So it was all over the place. Like I was like, oh my God. Even Waze couldn't show me the ways. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks again for having the patience and the perseverance for sticking with me. Now I want to talk about a few songs and stuff like that, and I want to talk about AI as well and my use of AI, right? Because like AI is a very controversial subject, but I'm going to explain the way I use it, and I'm going to show you how I use it and why I'm using it. Okay. So first of all, like I'm a kind of like person that, you know, I think I can write good lyrics, and I can write okay songs, you know, and I have melodies in my head. I hear melodies, and so I have to like match the chords to the melodies. And then I might sing some gibberish, or I have some recordings on my phone. I promised you I'm going to put them up, and they're just really, really raw. They're just on voice notes, and they're like singing in wind. You know, I just might be running and I stop and I sing this tune. I might be in the shower and I sing a tune, and then I'd go, oh, I like. But getting back to the Cuchulainn one that I done. Now, that Cuchulainn song, it's a bit hokey because it's AI, right? And the voice is really Cuchulainn, you know, Ireland's call, you know, really kind of like, you know, I wouldn't have sung that song like that, but I can't do that. I could do that song, but you know, I wouldn't have the belt that it has. And I think I'll always be more of like a softer singer. I think I'm aiming for that more as well. I just want to be a softer singer. I don't want to be some belting. I don't mind if I sing in falsetto or try to get up that way. I'm practicing that, but I'll always be a soft singer, you know. And for that, it needed to be like. So the story behind it is like I was telling people on Twitter, and I might have said something here as well about it. So it was during the pandemic, and I had a problem with a landlord. It was really horrendous. Like it was like eviction basically, like, you know. And you think of it like you're in the middle of a pandemic, right? You've got this I don't know, was it a 5 or 10 kilometer, I think it was 5 kilometer radius where you could just travel, and you had to have you know, some reason why you're going beyond that. It was very strict. Like lockdown was unbelievable. So all of a sudden I'm looking for a place. It's during the pandemic. Where can you go? What can you do? And I called a few friends, and I ended up calling one of my good friends, and he got onto this person and showed me this house, and I went, whoa, that looks so cool. It looks so cool. Now it ended up being a nightmare in the end, But when I went in there first, you see, I went in there, it was during the winter, but it was one of these days in the winter, I don't know, was it like November? But it was really kind of like probably 10 degrees Celsius, which is warm in Ireland. And when I went in, the landlord had like the boiler on and the heating was on, and it was just so cozy. It was beautiful inside. I made some videos actually, they might be still around. It had stone wall and it had this really cool acoustic sound. Now the only thing I didn't like is that there was a road nearby, but I didn't pick up on that road, which is unusual because when you record, especially when you start getting into like editing, your ears, I always say this, your ears develop this supersonic ability to hear anything. Like the old joke, you'd hear two flies making love on a wall. And so I was staying there, and it was very expensive. Like it really hurt me financially. I was in deep trouble, but I had to keep recording. I had to keep working because I'd given up my job to get into this, and it was a goal of mine to do this. You know, because I'm really passionate about bringing like ASMR to YouTube. Well, there's not a few people doing that too. I didn't know that they were doing it, but that was in my mind. These ideas, like people, you know, there's no fresh ideas really. They're kind of rehashed. But in my mind, it was like, oh, I'm doing it. I didn't know anybody else. I didn't know anything about it. I was just saying, because I started off kind of just, you know, just making stuff. And then I went, what if I translate this back into YouTube? And at the time, it was just all romance, and I could get away with it a bit more, you know. And then people started liking it. And I was like, wow, why do people like this? And I was shocked, and I kept developing it, and then it became like a thing. Like I remember sometimes like the views were just like staggering. I was like, wow, I was overwhelmed. And it's not because of the views. Don't get me wrong, like I don't chase views, you know. It wasn't on my mind. When I was still working away, you know, I was happy. And like I always say to you, like if I have to work in any job, I don't care, you know, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. But then like I started getting like emails from people all over the world, saying your meditation calmed me down. I felt good after it, because I was into meditation since being a child, and I kind of developed this. I think it's kind of like a frequency or something, and I think people have it in their voice. You know, there's a frequency in some people's voices, and even in their looks. You know, there's a softness in their looks, and now it just developed. Basically, I'm telling you, like through trauma. You know, because I worked through a lot of trauma on my own. You know, I did it on my own. Didn't ask anybody for help. It basically too, because I couldn't like explain it. It was very hard to explain, and so I started like, if I use these techniques that I kind of learned, I did read a bit about Zen and stuff along the way. I mean, since I was a child, I was reading these things. I was fascinated with you know, philosophy and stuff like that. It's weird. It's very strange when I look back at it. Like, from as far as I can remember, I tell that story, and I was in my Nana's place, and I saw my uncle's book, a Carl Jung book, and I picked it up and I started reading it, and I was just, I can't remember, I was so young. I really don't know. The age changes all the time, because I don't know. I could be 6 to 9, I can't remember. It could be 10, I don't know, but I remember looking at the symbol, and I think the book was called Man Any Symbols, and I looked at the book and I just went, wow. Whatever it was like something in my mind went, you need to do this, and that's like Jungian therapy and all that. So I did get into that, you know, but like it got really heavy, and it's a weird place to go. And then eventually, like I found Ramana and different. I kind of skipped through a lot of the like a lot of people get into be like they'll get into the more woo spiritual side of things. I kind of bypassed that for some reason. I don't know why, because like I would like get into that as well. Now I'm kind of looking at that and I like it, you know. But at the time I just didn't know. But I can spot that as well when someone is like being manipulative, you know, when they're they're not being honest. They can spot it, like, because what you notice with these, like I said to you all the time, is that when it dawns on you, when it dawns on what you are, you don't see anything different. You don't see any difference between you and anybody else. Like you'll see character traits and all that, but you won't see yourself above someone or below someone. You won't. You just won't, like. So how do we get here? And so then I just started, recording and all that kind of stuff, and then I was like, wow, what's going on? So then I started writing, and I found, like, since an early age I was writing. I used to write, like, funny stories for my friends and stuff like that, and all that kind of jazz. I used to write cartoons, and I started making, like, different, I would write poetry. I would change lyrics and songs for the craic. I would change words. I would make up words. I would do all this kind of stuff. Like, I liked playing with words. And then I thought at one stage, I think I should be a songwriter, It was weird. And then I said, like, I'm never going to be a songwriter, because I had a guitar and I was fairly poor. And I tried to play it, like, and I just couldn't, like, And it was only recently, not that long ago, I picked it back up. And I was familiar with the chords and all that, and then I said, I'm going to take a different approach, and I'm going to learn, like, soul music. I'm going to learn neo soul music and learn the chords and how it works and all that. And then I'm going to, go to all different types of music, and I'm just going to stick to one type. And then I said, like, I'm just going to freestyle, going to do anything that comes into my head. I don't care. It could be heavy metal, it could be anything, power chords, anything. I don't care. I don't care what it is until something clicks. And so anyway, when I was in a gingerbread house, I was feeling kind of like, peed off of what happened. And I was thinking of different, at the time, I could play a guitar. I hadn't got that much of a good idea of it, but I could kind of get melodies in my head, I could hear things, and I had a drum beat. And I would go like, but it was kind of like very powerful. I can't even do it as powerful as I was doing it. I was thinking of being a warrior. I was thinking about getting through this pandemic. And I have that recording on my phone. And I found it just before I did the Cuchulainn thing. And getting back to the AI part of it, right? Like, the reason why I was using this is because I knew I can do that song, okay? But I was thinking, like, what if I arrange it? Like, what if I, not arrange it, but like put in the song and like, enhance the song. Now, the voice in the song is hokey. The AI is never going to, not for a while anyway, it's not going to get that passion in your voice. And plus, I haven't got that passion. I'd like a band to sing it, and I'd like them to have their own arrangement of it. And it's just, so I plugged into Suno, and I wrote the lyrics. And what I do with lyrics is I'll keep rewriting them. I'll keep singing, and then I'll rewrite them, So that's why sometimes when you see me putting up the lyrics, they're changed, because I put up the wrong lyrics. So I keep changing them as I go up until I think they're fitting. But you know what? When I heard it, I went, oh my God, It wasn't the singing. The lyrics, okay, they're alright. It was the thing like where I went, all that time ago, I was doing that and I didn't know why. And I was banging the guitar. I can't do it because last year I was like, boom, 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 boom. Like I will prevail, you know, boom, 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 boom. I'll come out of this, because like being thrown out of a place into a pandemic is just like wow. I mean, I remember going shopping and roadblocks and cops asking me, where are you going? How far are you going? Where are you living? When will you be back? It was like, oh my God. No. So that's how that came about. It was kind of funny. Then like when you plug it into the eye and you just hear the beat, and when I had the it's a very simple melody, and the way it caught that melody, because I'm uploading my own song into it, it's not like I'm just putting in chords and making a poetry and going, because it's kind of hard to do that. You know, you can try it. I mean, everyone should mess around with Suno, even if you're not a musical person. Just do it for a laugh. Write a poem, print some chords, like learn some chord structures, write a poem. Then you could pick up a guitar and you could start, you could go backwards, you can reverse engineer it, you know. But what I'll do is I'll write the song and then I'll put it in, and then I listen back and go, wow, yeah. For the band, like if I was a producer, I think I'd be a better producer than anything else. I would be able to go, okay, so this needs to be done, this needs to be done. Because I would rearrange a song, I would tell someone what I'd like to hear. Like, you know, you'd have arguments with people and all that, but that wouldn't bother me. But yeah, so that's how that song came about. And that's the whole idea of AI. But the problem is like when you do AI, you know, people are thinking like, that's just an AI song, it's but it's not really. You know, it's because like, if you think back, like, but like if you think back musically, there's bands like Kraftwerk and stuff like that were, Bowie messing around with Brian Eno, they were messing around with these different like, strange like electronic instruments. Like one of them, Bowie and Eno were working on was this thing where they thought they could, it's a weird story, like they could reverse time. It's just strange when you read about it. I forget the name. You can look it up and have a squash off it. It's kind of funny. But they used to use this thing. It's such a strange machine. So like this has been going on for a long time, you know. And these days, like what you're listening to as well, is like I've always said, it's going on for a long time. But you're not listening to people singing live, you know. You're not. Like there's pitch controls, there's all that. And for me, like I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, like, you know. I'm not trying to be someone that's too polished, because that's what's going to happen after a while with this. You know, it's too polished, and then people are going to get bored and they're going to want to hear mistakes. And they spoke about this the last time about mistakes in songs. They can pick up and I go, wow, I like that. I like the way, like there's lots of, if you go on YouTube and you suss out some of the mistakes and some of the most famous songs ever written, you hear people coughing and you hear people doing things and they just left it in. It just worked. You know, you hear this thing, someone sneeze in the background or laugh, somebody open a bottle of soda or a bottle of whiskey probably back then, I don't know. So yeah, that's the problem with AI. But then again, you can, like if you're playing any instrument and you're writing any kind of lyrics, you can kind of hear it come to life and you go, wow, like wow. And it might add something as well, you know, it might sometimes, but like a lot of times then it can get kind of weird. Or like, no. So like you're hitting it, you need to do your own recording, I think, and then you can kind of hit it more accurately. But if you're trying to go the other way, it's hard, because you're going to keep prompting it, prompt, and you're like, oh, I don't like it like that, I want it this way, and it'll drive you insane. Whereas when you have like this, and you know about Irish mythology, and you can write a poem about how Satanta became Cuchulainn, which they should make a movie of. I think they were making it, like I said the last time, and they never got around to it. So yeah. And it was all over Schlitter. I must do that for you sometime, actually. I'm must get a camera and I get a GoPro or something like that. And I play a bit of hurling. I'll run around the field with a hurling the ball, and I'll try. Because I'm not too bad of a hurler actually. So anyway, looking for a light. It's getting dark. Wow. Man, where's the lights? Got to hit the lights. Get away for a while. But yeah. So I came up with this song. Then I was out the other day and I was running. I was running, and the thing about like when you run to reggae music or any music, I really think like, and I researched it, and it didn't come up or anything, but I really think when I hear, especially Bob Marley's reggae, it was running. A lot of it was running. Now, I've heard R&B singers saying that they'd listen to their footsteps. You know? And you just they'd be in time and they just put a melody into that. Like, there's a lot of groups do that, like, and very good musicians. So when I hear some of Bob Marley stuff like and it's kicking, I'm like, that's a running song. Like, I know, like, I didn't read it anywhere, there's no evidence of it, but I have my instinct that it's running. And it's not just because I'm running along to it, it's just like there's a bounce to the music that's different to a lot of reggae, you know. There's a weird kind of like, it's very hard to describe, but I know, I know what it is, it's a sense that I have. But anyway, when you're running, when you're in the shower especially, like, it's a mad time to write, mad time to write anything you want to write, anything you're into, whether it's a story, a poem, whether you want to paint something. Showers change everything, and showers change humours as well. I mean, you go into a shower and if you're in a bad humour, like, just like, I mean, literally, if you're feeling a bit down, go into the shower for 5 minutes. Just go into the shower and come out, and it just switches something. People don't kind of like tune into this kind of stuff. It's so subtle, very subtle. So in the shower and singing all this rubbish, you know, singing in the shower, and people love singing in the shower because what happens is there's a resonance in the voice, so you're not kind of singing from your nose, or you're not singing to, you're kind of like singing from the mask, which I'm trying to do a bit more. And when you hum, you feel a buzz around your face when you're singing. Like, there's a lot of singers here, I know, that are way more experienced now. And anyway, I'm learning no, and this is so simple, like, no, and I have this as well. I'll actually put up these demos sometimes. They're not even demos, they're just like humming. And I'm thinking, like, what is that? And I'm going again, this is just can only be an E minor and an A7. Sound like this and like. Going like this, and I'm like, and then I go, so I'm saying, okay, let's get a guitar, and I start singing the lyrics, and the lyrics are so different to these lyrics. But yeah, they're kind of like the same. There's a few of them in the songs, and there's a lot of like blah 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 when I can't fill in the lyric because I'm doing it off the cuff. It's extreme consciousness. So I'm just playing around and I'm kind of going. Okay. So I start the first verse and I kind of go, and I have this in the demo, but I tuned up the lyrics a little bit. I change them again, you know, as I go. And it's like, oh baby, I've been thinking, I've been drinking, I've been staying up late. I feel it coming on me slowly. It's time for me to get my own place. I've been searching, I've been looking, trying to forget what you said. But every word keeps on repeating every night, again and again. I need some space. I need some space. I need some space. I need some space. Might be an instrumental part there then, you know. And it's going back to, I've had enough of all this pain and tears. You stole enough of all my best years. I gave you everything a man could have. Still it ended up being so bad. I need some space. I need some space. Yeah, I need some space. Yeah, I need some space. And then it goes kinda, I like the silence when I'm on my own. I like the silence on my phone. I don't think I'm ready to take much more. I need a place for me to go. I need some space. I need some space. And I've a verse then again, and it's like then I've kind of like a bridge of no more talking, no more reaching. Let's settle these feelings. If I stay, I'll be leaving. It's time for me to get my own place. So it's like, I was playing with that, if I stay, I'll be leaving. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Then I have kind of a final chorus where it gets kind of more, you know. Anyway, I do that song, and I prompt it to where I want. So I'm thinking like, something kind of like, you know, electronic, you know, something like, I'm thinking that, but I wanted kind of a heavy bass thing. So I plugged into Suno, and I was so happy with what I heard. I was like, yeah, that's so cool. It sounds just really upbeat. And what I like about it, it's like, it's kind of a weird song because it's fooling your brain. It's kind of like when you hear it in Suno, it's kind of a negative song, you know. The guy is saying like, I need some space from you, or the girl is saying I need some space from you, whoever. Or the guy is saying I need some space from the guy, or whatever. Who knows? So it's kind of negative, you know what I mean? And but the beat is sort of, and maybe there's a bit of a kind of like a rebellious thing in it as well, you know. I need my space, yeah. But it comes out so cool, and I did program it to my voice. Now I tried to like get my voice right with it. No, there's one. I did 5. There's one of them. It's kind of like it'd be like, oh baby, I've been thinking and I've been drinking and I'm staying up late. There's one of them like that. There's another that's kind of like, it's like, oh baby, I've been thinking, I've been drinking, staying up late. And there's another one that's kind of like, oh baby, I've been thinking, I've been drinking, staying up late. I'm dude, what are you like? Can you not hear the accent? It cannot like click the accent. There's one of them that's close, it's very close. But when it goes into falsetto and stuff, you know, that's the thing that I'm learning. Like, you know, I'm learning from different coaches on YouTube. You know, how to just get to a little bit of falsetto. Sometimes I can do it, but I've got such a bassy voice that like going into a falsetto. Like there's one lady, I forget her name. She's on YouTube. She's got such a voice. This is just really powerful. But she was doing this thing where you go into falsetto and you roll your hand like in a motion of like rolling up. It's like, I broke that up. It's like, oh. know. And so I'm practicing that all day. And there's another thing along as well is like, if you start off singing, oh baby, I think, oh baby, lately I've been thinking, I've been drinking, staying up late, there's a kind of a flatness and that's like you start from, oh baby, I've been thinking, I've been drinking, staying up late, I feel it coming on me slowly, and then you have the diaphragm thing, but like, with the way I play, I'm kind of very comfortable sitting down, so I'm not too worried about that, you know, I'm not an opera singer, so yeah, but I did that, I think it was kind of a funny song, The Vampires with Gingivitis. So I was sitting I was watching a vampire movie and I went, what if that vampire had gingivitis and his teeth fell out, he bitch it. I think there was a new Dracula movie and I was like, what if like his teeth fell out? Gingivitis, he wasn't brushing them. The vampire was brushing their teeth. This is my mind now. This is the, you know. So then I'm thinking like, oh, I was like, okay. So you can see politics is kind of losing its grip. You know, reality is really weird. We don't know what to believe anymore. You know, you're looking at news reports. Go to different channels, right? Now your bias is going to move you towards channel, but take your bias out, right? Like you're a person that just landed on the planet, right? Blank person that just landed on the planet. You understand English, but you're just looking at the planet. You're like a newborn baby that has kind of comprehension. So you turn on all these news channels, you know, like BBC, RTE, NBC, Sky News Australia, Fox News, CNN, and everyone is telling a different story. So you're like, wow, nothing is kind of like, you know, reality is revealing itself, and in the quantum way, like it's kind of like that. You know, when people talk about quantum, like I have my own ideas about quantum. I'm not one of these people, I don't know what quantum is, I don't know, but I've used it as, so like the song I did there in the timeline, that's my kind of quantum. You make a decision, two roads diverge, and I took the road less travelled by, that poem. Yeah, so that's my idea of quantum, like in another universe this thing happened and all that. So it's kind of like that, you know, it's like reality is revealing itself. You know, everything isn't what we see. We think we know everything, but we don't, like we haven't got a clue. And the more you come along in a path of like, you know, just investigation, it's not spiritual that much, you know. There's a mistake where people think like spirituality, you know, meditation, all this, like, I mean, it's a mistake, and it can kind of cause a trap. It's like you can get scientific with it if you want, like you can get very intellectual, and you can see these things. You can see that time is weird. Time is being studied at the moment, and time is being studied, and they're seeing like them that everything is happening at once. There's a theory, and there's another theory. There was no past, there's no future. It's all over. It's in a book. The book is sealed. The story's been written. It's gone. It's actually not happening. You've all these theories. There's so many of them. And all you can do with these theories, and it's something like Jiddu Krishnamurti, if you ever read about him, he would sit down with scientists and physicists and everything, and he would talk to them. And like there was a couple of them, Davis, I can't remember his second name. He used to talk to Krishnamurti for hours and hours. This is a guy from India like that. Now I know he came from organisation that he dissolved. My mind is escaping me because I don't read that kind of stuff anymore. He would sit there and he would speak about time, but he was talking from his own experience. So when you think about it, like, I mean, one of the things that's fascinating is like okay, and I seen something on YouTube about this lately, and I was like, yeah, you're kind of getting there with that kind of theory. Is that like you're in this room, right? Wherever you are, you're outside. You're in the universe, right? 100%. But it's like, you know, your eyes, it's like you're peering into the universe. If you go blank, just go blank, stop your thoughts for 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and look around. You're looking into the universe. The universe is looking at itself. So if you want to do a mind experiment, go into a room and look at things that are still, like a chair, a cup, and look at stillness, right? Watch it. And then drop the label of chair, cup, whatever. And just look at that stillness. Just don't mind anything else. Just look at it. It's quiet. It's not moving. It looks kind of like empty. Is it there? What is it? I was told it was a chair. Is it a chair? And that's the quantum side of things in my mind. Like, is that like it's kind of getting there, you know? So like it's your experience, not mine. It's everybody's experience, you know. It's just everybody on the planet has the same experience, and that's why I said to you like that. You know, when anybody ever says that they're above you or anything in any way, run like hell. Run like hell. Don't listen to them. Don't take it in. Run like hell. There's no one above you. Yeah? And there's nothing wrong with you. And you're perfect the way you are. And it sounds kind of corny, but you are. Like, you're it. Doesn't matter, like, you're... Like, funny thing is, like... and you'll see this, like, in a lot of my lyrics and stuff, like, that you've never seen yourself. You know, people see you, you don't see yourself. You look in a mirror, it's reflection. You've never seen yourself. You cannot look back at yourself. You can photograph yourself, you can take 100 photographs, and everybody knows this, like, especially today, the selfies. Or you could be out at a party and there's 4 photographs, and fucking hell, what am I like there? Oh my god, my head is huge there. Oh my god, look what's wrong with my arm there. And they're all distorted. So there's nothing like real, you know, there's nothing like static going on. You know what I mean? Everything's changing all the time. And you don't know, you're looking out. You can't look back. You can look into the mirror, okay? You can take a photograph, it might look like that, but really study it. And there's actually, and this is kind of going down the rabbit hole a bit, but there's actually this kind of like a technique where it's been used for a long time, it's mirror gazing. And if you stand in front of a mirror and you gaze into the mirror for like 15 minutes into your eyes, you will see your whole face warp and change into different faces. There's been people change into different people. They'll tell you like that, oh. And then there's this kind of scientific reason why you're hallucinating, but how do they know that? Like, how do they know anything? You know? It's like, you know, someone sees a ghost and you go, oh, okay, you did not. How do you know their experience? It comes you become very kind of like, you find a lot of like, you get humble. But so that's like a lot of the lyrics that I write will be driven from that, you know what I mean? When you see it, like, you'll see it. But I've been doing that like for a while, you know. I'll pepper in some. Actually, like, the reason why I started doing ASMR is because I said, like, I feel kind of good, you know, and I see a lot of people kind of suffering around me, and I knew what it was like to be like that. And I'm thinking, if I can just like, alright, if I can just be sneaky here, right? Use sexuality to bring in this kind of like energetic feeling of like when you're having sex, there's a reason why you're happy is because your problems are gone, especially if it's good sex. Your problems are gone. You know, you're in that space with someone you love, or it doesn't even have to be someone you love, you have a connection, but wherever it is, I don't care. You know, once you're looking after yourself and not being too, I'm gonna say silly, but you know, just being careful, because I like people being careful. I don't promote anything other than that. But you know what I mean? There's a reason why. And it's just like music. Sex is very like music. It stops your brain. It stops that rumination. And if you look at the planet at the moment, like, you can see, like, you know, the rush is there. Lots of people are rushing to nowhere. You're in a car, someone overtakes you, right? We've 100-kilometer zones here, and I see people pass me at 150. Where are you going? Sunday. Where are you going? You're not going to get, like, if you calculate where you're going, and then behind you doing 100, probably going to get there like 5 or 6 minutes before me. For what? Unless now you're dying, like you're getting a heart attack or something, and you need, or I don't know, someone's having a baby in the back of the car. Where were you going? Like, what are you doing? What if someone's jogging on a bend, you know? And again, in Ireland, when you're here, you know that, that's what we do. You kill them. You know, what are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you rushing for? But that's the thing. It's all rush, rush, rush. When you slow down, like, music slows you down. Now you can dance to fast music. Doesn't matter. Everything is meditation. Like, everything. Like music, Your eyes are open, right? Like when I'm gonna just kind of stop on this part, just talk. But when you open your eyes and you look around, like really look at what you're looking at. Like you'll be surprised what you're not looking at, but you think you're looking at. You look around and you think you're seeing things, but when the labels drop, everything becomes like one thing. It's like our minds it's like science. It splits things up into sections. There's a TV, there's a fridge, there's a washing machine, there's tables, there's a plant, there's a guitar, there's a body, there's a hands. And then when all that drops, it's like, whoa, okay, what the hell is that? What's this? You're really kind of bemused. You're looking around going, oh my God. Because nothing is like separated. Everything is joined into one. Where does the floor end and the wall begin? Like where does do you know what I mean? Where does the couch stop and where does your body be? Like even if you close your eyes for a second and feel your legs in the couch, like where is it? And we know from science that you never touch anything. We've never touched anything. There's a space in between everything. You've never touched a thing in your life. Can you imagine that? You've never touched anything. It's mad. Like there's that space, there's the tiniest little space, but you've never touched anything. So we're making it up in our brains. And I don't know how we got here. Through some kind of musical talk. So yeah, there were a few of the songs. And then I wrote some more stuff. And it's kind of crazy. I look through the notes and some, again, like I come back to that. I go, what is that? The reggae song I wrote was kind of, it was because of an experience I had. I was looking at a tree. This is the first kind of like time that I like got a kind of a, what we call a spiritual awakening, and I don't think it's that. It's just kind of you're like, it's like child. You become a child again. You kind of childlike. So when you're looking at a tree, I'm thinking, am I looking at that or is that looking at me? Do it, try it, and then think, am I sure what's going on? And you get this feeling that everything is looking at you. Even animals, like you walk through, like I walk through fields a lot, see horses and cows, and I go, am I looking at them? They're looking at me. What's going on? It's a very, very mystical thing. But so that's where that reggae song came from. Like I might have changed it. I don't think, but that's where it came from. I see that trees look at me. Most people think they only look at trees, and that was where that came from. And there's a lost and found. I have a song called. It's a kind of a negative song as well. It's like every morning I wake up and I love that you left me, and it's a whole song, and it's kind of a simple song, but it's a kind of like for people in a breakup. You see, like a lot of the songs they write are going to be positive, and it has a negative. You will think it's negative until you're going through a breakup, and then it's kind of like about finding yourself, And it's like every morning I wake up, and that came from the gingerbread house as well. That kind of like feeling of like being, like thrown out, cast out. Do you know what I mean? And then like you've a lot of alienation that will kind of come into the music as well. There's like in another life, and that in another life I've written here, right? Our quantum feels real because I don't, and that was it. So then I look back at it and wow, so that song came out of that, like that timeline song came out of that. And then there was I Didn't Ask to Be Born, because one day I was thinking, I didn't ask to be here. I did, like, I was saying, if someone gave me the choice, would I have asked to be born? I don't know. I was contemplating that, and that song came out of that. I did a song called Ceasefire. I've seen this one lately. It's like, ceasefire, baby, cease the siege. All this fighting feeds the disease. I'll say sorry softly if you can see that two of us are guilty typically. And I would probably change that around because guilty typically is kind of, it's a bit like clunky. Then there's a pre-chorus, and the words were our worlds, and the shouting shakes our core. So ceasefire, baby, I can't take this anymore. Ceasefire, I can't take this anymore. Yeah. So that's another one. There's like so many of them there, and when I was looking back, like I mean, when I look back, there's another one here now that I'm looking at, and I'm like, what the hell is that? It's crazy. And I can see that like I'm writing them, going back to them. There's the indestructible ones. It's just a weird one. Yeah, it's in every beat we find our story. Oh, how to be free in all our glory. Beneath the stars, our song is sung. Together, we are everything. The indestructible ones. So I don't know. I haven't got a clue that I wrote that. Like I just don't know. It's so strange. It was funny. So yeah, that's my chatteroo. And again, thanks for supporting me. And yeah, I really do encourage you like to so if you're into music, to pick up an instrument and just like mess around. Use the technology that's there. Who cares? I mean, like, you know, it could make you like it can bring a lot of happiness to you. Even, you know, you do it for yourself, and if other people resonate, but it's fine. You know, it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't overcomplicate things, and just kind of like just kind of learn to love words and stuff like that. You might write 500 songs and 10 might be amazing eventually. You know, you don't know. So I wrote this vanilla and another type of audio, and I wrote this piece and I added my own songs because the couple meet at a bar, and I was able to add my own music into it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Now I used the AI versions of the songs, so it sounded like it's coming through a stereo system in a bar, which happens in Ireland. It's played very low. You know, the Irish music is played low, and you're having a chat, and there's a great atmosphere, there's a crack there, like, you know. So I was able to use my own music, and then I was able to like talk about the music, like the song, the Cuchulainn song, I put into it, and then I started talking about Cuchulainn, and I mixed like the myth of Cuchulainn, the legend, into the conversation, and then made a bit of banter around that, you know. And like one thing is leading into the other, was just so cool. And then I'm going, I don't have to ask, like, because I used to sometimes I would like go to different sites and stuff if I needed something that I just could not get. You know, there was some things I could not get that I'd have in my mind. I need some kind of like Indian drum beat, like, or something like that, you know, from India, some kind of like, I don't know, it could be even Buddha bowls or whatever you call them. I'd be like, I need, you know, Buddha bowls instead of breakfast, but you know those bowls. I was like, I just can't. And then you're on YouTube and you're getting copyright strike, and I'm like, oh my god. So now I'm gone from that. I'm like, okay, I don't need to do that anymore. I can literally make up a song. That's what I did in the song, in the audio. It's the end of the song at the start of the conversation. So I just wrote a song very quickly, right? Very quickly, and that song kind of ends as they're talking, and then there's a song comes on, and then the Cuchulainn song comes on, and then it kind of gets romantic when they're leaving, you know, and it's kind of cool. It kind of works in the bar, but it's on subtly in the background. It's not overpowering, and it was cool. I was able to do that, but yeah, it went on a bit too long, I think, but yeah. So I'm gonna do that. I Need Some Space song. I mean, like, to be fair, the Sooner version is banging. I think it really is good. Like, I think that's my feeling anyway. You know, for me, like, I'm not saying it's a brilliant song for the whole world to hear, but for me, it's like, oh yeah. It's not the singing. The words are alright. It's just the beat. I went, oh my god! It's the same as the Cuchulainn one. It's the beat, like, it's the, you know, it's the bass and the way it did it, because of like your. Like when you upload your own music and it translates it like to kind of what you think, wow, that's close. It's like if I asked someone to cover one of my songs, and I direct them a little bit, and I kind of go, oh God, that's so beautiful, because they can sing, and they can, like, you know, they can really get to it, that, like, you know, and I'm going, oh, I'd love to be able to do that. But then again, I'd like to be in the background and write some stuff, which I probably will too eventually down the line. Like, you know, I know I'll hit on something and write something for somebody, or something's going to happen like that, you know, because when I get passionate about something happens. But just, I don't know, it's just the way it is. It could be something small, I don't mind. But yeah, but I'm gonna leave you, and thanks for sticking around again, and I'll talk to you soon, right? Okay, alright, bye, from wherever I am.